In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an outline for your photos in Canva. This is super simple and I'll show you in the best and quickest way. Let's go, Canva Collective. Hello, my name is Matt Hughes and I'll be your Canva teacher for today. So I'm going to show you how to do this in Canva. It's super simple. I'm going to teach you a few things along the way. So make sure you watch the video to the end in order to get all the tips that I'll give you throughout this. And don't forget, if you've not been to this channel before, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified every single time I publish a new video. Here's what you'll need to do this video. You will need Canva Pro because we're going to use a couple of tools that are specific to Canva Pro. Now, if you've not got a Canva account or a Canva Pro account, check out the link in the description. You can grab one of those. You'll also need a high quality image. So this is a beautiful image of yourself, preferably looking at the camera or something like that. This works really well with photos of people, so we can grab the outline of it, but it does work with objects and that kind of thing as well. You'll also need the thing that I recommend is that you use the Canva app. Like most people use Canva in the browser, but if you didn't know, there's an app you can download. If you click your name in the top right hand side, you'll see get the Canva apps. If you're in the browser, it says get the Canva apps, and that will allow you to get the app, and then it will look very similar to Canva, but you'll be working in its own little app. Really useful. And I think that's it. I think we can get started now. So that's everything you need. So let's go and create a design. So first things first, I'm going to create a design and I'm going to choose, because my next video is all about YouTube thumbnails, I'm going to choose a YouTube thumbnail. And of course we get the templates that we can have here, but we're actually going to be working on our own image. So we're going to find an image, and I've prepared one before. So here's my image. This is the one you should have seen on the thumbnail already. And you can see I've got my image, and this is me in my office. I've got a few little things in the background here. That's Jim from Friday Night Dinner. You can see in the corner there, just in case you're wondering. And this is me and my green screen. Just a couple of things about the green screen. If you're doing this, make sure your lighting is as good as it can be. You can see that my green screen image is well lit all around the green screen. Make sure you're using the best camera that you've got available to you. So for me, I'm using a Sony camera. If you're using a webcam, chances are your mobile phone is going to be better, because if you're going to remove the background, although Canva is amazing at removing backgrounds for most things, it does struggle if your images are lower quality. So when we do this background removal part, it might miss a few steps, and I'll show you sort of what you can do about that. But if your image is well lit, then it has the best chance of figuring out how to remove the background. And then of course we're going to crop in. So what I want to do before I start is just crop my image to where roughly where I want it to be. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to move it over to the left hand side. I'm just going to make it a little bit taller as well. I always try to do this stuff at the start so that I know what's going on. I'll also give it a title, so glow effect. Again, I'll give it a title just because it's easier to find. The worst thing about Canva when you get hundreds of images is trying to find stuff, even though the search is great. So you want to make sure you give it a good name so you can find it later on. I might even, because this is a YouTube video, I might say YouTube tutorial glow effect. There you go. That seems like a more sensible name. Right, so then let's remove this background then. So the first thing we're going to do is press edit image, and we're going to go to background remover. It's recently used for me because I use it all the time. So but if you can't find it and it's not in your recently used, just look for this background remover. And then you'll see, because my image is pretty good, that it's done an amazing job. Now, one thing about green screen is don't ever have spiky hair in green screen, because it always looks a bit green at the top. But, I do what I like, so there are no rules. It's just that's advice. If it's not working, if you find something's a little bit off, perhaps you've got a little bit of green here, you can use this erase and restore tool to remove the bits that shouldn't be there. That way you'll make sure that your image is great. Just be careful with it, because you can go too far with it as well. So I'm going to press cancel for that. So just know that erase and restore, that's kind of a fairly new feature and it's amazing. If you press on apply now, then that has been applied, and we've now got ourselves a nice image with a background removed. So you know, if I change the background color here, let's change it to something like blue. Blue doesn't work. Blue on blue. Well, blue on blue. That could be quite good for this little tutorial. So let's try blue on blue. So I've got my blue background now, and you can see that I'm cut out because the background's showing exactly in the back. Now, if I click on edit image, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to hit on shadows. So again, if you can't see shadows here, you'll find it as an option, or you can search for it. And then I'm looking for glow, right? No surprise that I'm looking for glow, because that is going to give us the glow effect around our image. But once I've clicked on that glow, you can see a little black glow around me here. But if I click on the little icon here that's got the toggles, then I can go and change the options here for glow. So if I click on black, change that to white. That's the most common one, I think. I'm going to run through these settings with you. So size shows you the size of the glow effect. I always think this big one here looks like it's someone looking over my shoulder. So I try not to do those big massive glow effects. Something like 10 seems to be fairly good. Transparency. So transparency changes whether this is a solid color or whether it's a semi-transparent color. Obviously that's the nature of transparency. And so if I change it to 100, I've still got a bit of it's a bit of like it's falling out of the lines. It's not very solid, which is where blur comes in. So you can see transparency looks like a bit of a drop shadow, something like that, you know, shadow behind me. So I'm going to say 100, and then the blur here, again, if I go all the way down to the bottom, there's no blur at all. If I go all the way to the top, again, it looks a bit more like a shadow or like a glow effect. So for me, adding the outline, I want the blur to be as low as possible. The thing with 0 is I find that 0 is a little bit harsh, so I tend to go for 1 just so it makes it a little bit softer on the edges, maybe even 2 there. So that kind of looks and feels how I want it to feel. So make sure you click apply here. If you try and change the crop or anything like that at this point whilst you're in these settings, Canva will go strange. Your image will go strange. You'll hate yourself, and you'll have to start again. Even when you go undo and redo and all that kind of stuff, it never really falls back to where it should be. So make sure you hit apply, and then you're in a good position. Now that looks amazing, Matt. I'm so happy with that. What else can we do here? Well, here's what else we can do. We can edit the image, and we can add another shadow to it, another glow, and we can hit on the background color again, and then we can add in, let's say, a red. And we can add a glow on glow. So if you think, well, we're done here, this is the only thing we've got available to us, we can create a kind of rainbow effect or a double glow effect. Whatever you wanted to do, you need to keep applying these until the cows come home, really. There's no limit here. You could just keep applying them. So I think this adds like an extra dimension because it makes your images look a little bit different to everybody else's that is using these glow effects. So a double glow effect is quite handy. And I think that's it. That's the tutorial done. We've got there. We found it dead straightforward, dead easy. I hope you've loved being able to do this, and I hope you find this. If you've come from Photoshop, you might be like, damn, I've been doing this in Photoshop for years. It takes me forever to do this, and now I've been able to do it in seconds in Canva. All right. If you like the video, make sure you do hit the like button, and don't forget to share this with your friends, family, colleagues, anyone you think that will find this useful to improve their Canva game. All right, that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video.